Second and goal, and McDaniels. Another one. 44 points. There's not one person in America that thought this was going to happen.
Never noticed when the bully finally takes a beating, it's always brutal. Think Holyfield Tyson won. And last night was Manny Pacquiao v. Antonio Margarito, and somebody should have stopped this fight just as somebody should have stepped in before Margarito got his face broken. The ref should have just wrapped up on the Jets and told them that there would be another day. Rex Ryan should have thrown in the towel from his corner because that beatdown was as complete as it was stunning. I'm still a big Rex Ryan guy, but he should have spent less time poking the bear, that is the hoodie, and more time game planning for Tom Brady. How do you talk that much junk and then come out that flat and uninspired? How do you have 11 days between games and then come out that unprepared? You knew there was no way that Bill Belichick was going to lose at home with 11 days to get ready for a rival, but in no way did I see that sort of beatdown coming, and neither did the Jets, who are now spinning and trying to con themselves into thinking that it really was only one game, only one loss. No, it wasn't. That was not a slip-up against Green Bay back in Week 8. That was the game of the year on a Monday night when the entire nation and your peers were watching against your rival, and you got jacked up. You were exposed. They've only beaten one team with a winning record, and we're given way too much credit for grinding out wins over Denver, Houston, Detroit, and Cleveland. That didn't prove how resilient they were. It proved how beatable they were. It proved they weren't that good. And as far as Santonio Holmes banging the "it's only one game" drum and, quote, "we'll see those guys again," you better hope not, because if you do, it's going to be a few weeks down the road in their house, and there is no reason to believe that they won't do you the same way they did you last night. The Jets are not who we thought they were, and the Pats let them off the hook by not dropping 50 on them. That may have been just one loss, but don't tell me it's only one game, because it's not.
Chiefs have statement to 38-3.
As for the Pats, while they handed down a few dozen beatings over the past decade, none of them have been as perfect as that one. To quote my colleague Steve Young, that was a symphony. And to quote Megadeth, it was a symphony of destruction. The stat sheet says that Brady was hit 3 times. When? Getting headbutted by his teammates coming off the field? It seemed like the only time the Jets laid a hand on him is when they shook his coming off the field. Turns out Swagger can't cover, and Swagger can't rush the passer, and you're never going to beat Tom Brady by getting in his head. You have to get under his chin, and the Jets couldn't do it. And you can give Tom Brady a few fast twitch wideouts on the outside and a few linemen in front of him, and I don't care how much swagger you bring to the table, you're going to get carved. Brady has never played better, and he's never been sharper than he is right now. And while I was ready to give the MVP to Michael Vick a few weeks back, I'm going to now rip it from him and give it to Brady. The only mistake he seemed to make all night long was rocking the melon spandex for his on-the-field interview. I can't decide if he looked like the nihilist from the Big Lebowski or C-3PO during a smoke break. I know Bieber wants his look back, but even that was better than this. Big night for Bill Belichick, but a bad night for his tree. His 4th assistant got whacked in his first stint as a head coach. This time it was Josh McDaniels getting run by Denver. No shock here other than possibly the timing. Got to hand it to my guy. He took an awfully big swing. He even killed it for the first 6 games. Who will ever forget the pupil doing the master early on and then coming off the field shadow boxing? That made it 5-0. Then he went to 6-0. Aggressive, cocky, innovative, and it looked like the kid was headed straight to Canton. Then the wheels fell off. Look, I get that as a hoodie disciple, the system trumps all and chemistry supersedes talent, but you do have to have some talent. And it's not too often that you jettison your franchise quarterback, your franchise receiver, and a top 10 running back and get better. McDaniels is a solid football coach. He's an excellent play caller, but he was just given too much too soon. You can't give a 34-year-old guy who has never been a head coach on any level complete control of football operations. You're just asking for him to abuse his authority, which he pretty much did. Hoodie can throw his weight around and command the respect of his team and his staff because he has a fistful of jewelry. McDaniels had the hoodie and Tom Brady and a whole lot of attitude. And in the end, he could not survive losing 17 of 22 and not reporting Spygate 2. An inexcusable act when you consider he was in New England for Spygate 1. Remember, the hoodie himself got run in Cleveland before getting back his cred and then building up a Hall of Fame resume. Maybe McDaniels will have similar success. maybe not to that extent, but if he goes to school on his mistakes he made in Denver, the way Belichick did in Cleveland, he's got a shot. The Redskins have suspended Albert Haynesworth for the rest of the season, and it seems like he just doesn't get it. There was the bad practice Thursday, missing the start of a meeting Friday, then his inactivation on Sunday, and teammate Philip Daniels tearing him up publicly yesterday for his effort and his attitude.
He let himself down. He didn't let us down, he let himself down. But in the process of letting himself down, you let your teammates down too, in a lot of ways.
Then when rumors surfaced that he showed up to practice hungover on Friday, well, it was time to cue Carl Lewis. Haynesworth went on the radio to vehemently deny that he was hungover, saying that's just noise from people looking to take him down.
I believe there are some kind of haters or something like that. An organization that they don't like me. I don't know if it's players, I don't know if it's coaches, I don't know who it is, but obviously it's somebody who, who doesn't like me, which is, fine. But when you go out there and start making up lies, then yeah, I got something to say.
You're right, there are haters in the organization, and I don't know if they're players or coaches, but I'll take a wild guess, and I'll say both. Just as I'll say you've given them plenty of reason to hate. In fact, I'm not sure you've given them a single reason not to hate. There's the massive contract, skipping workouts because you didn't like the scheme, 10 days of failed fitness tests, tested media members actually were passing at that time, and there's nothing guys hate more than their teammates dogging it, unless it's a teammate dogging it with a hangover, allegedly. Look, I don't know if that report is true or not, but when your teammates are saying publicly that you're wasting your talent and their time, then you probably are, sauce or no sauce. Later on, you'll get my take on whether